Welcome back, our dearest viewers, to your number one breakfast show, which is Munati Breakfast Show. Sorry that now, Moses, without wasting much time, let's just go direct into the topic of discussion of today, which is communication skills. So, first and foremost, I think we'll start by defining what communication is, isn't it?
Exactly, and communication, it's simply the sending and receiving of information. That's a simple term of communication.
I learned that in grade 2.
Yeah,
I learned
that in grade 2.
I learned that in grade 2. That was SDS. That was in SDS where I learned that. So Moses, communication is the sending and receiving of messages, but it says it all, sending and receiving of messages. So if you're just sending messages, it's communication?
No, it's not communication, because there's a difference between communication and effective communication.
What's the difference?
So communication, you can be just communicating, you can be just talking to somebody without a communication can be effective if you're not getting a feedback. Okay, so for example, we're talking to our viewers there, and for us to know that they are following, they have to comment. That's a feedback that you are getting right there.
Exactly, our dearest viewers. So you have to communicate back so that we know that we are there.
Yes.
It's you guys, it's you people out there that are making this show very interesting, and that are making this show very, very, very interesting. So Moses, just as you say, there is effective communication and just communication. So, I think there are qualities of a person whereby I'm sure you had such an experience, Moses, whereby but it was like,
Yeah, that's not communication.
Even if you're bored, you'll be like, this person, can I just leave the place? So what makes somebody maybe a good communicator?
Okay, so there are quite a number of things which make somebody a good communicator. First of all, it's knowing whom you are communicating with, and of course, know where to communicate. Because with these barriers of communications, communication nowadays has become very difficult. Because you can think as if you are communicating to somebody, meanwhile they are not even getting getting the message that you are trying to give them.
Just like I'm not getting what you're saying. I'm just joking. Yeah, I understand.
For communication to be effective, know where to communicate, request for feedback, as we are requesting for feedback from our viewers to say that they can comment, as well as share this stream to make sure that they follow whatever we're doing here. So it's communication. We're communicating with them. Yeah.
Okay, just to add on, Moses, I think what also makes somebody a good communicator is active listening.
Yeah.
There is no way Moses I speak for 2 hours, and then at the end of 2 hours, Boom said, what were you saying? So somebody has to be an active listener, whereby a person is talking to you and then you're listening. You're getting the points that they're saying, that at the end, you make communication interesting. It's one of a factor that also makes a person a good communicator is friendliness.
Yeah.
Because Moses, I can't be talking to you, you will reach frown, wamanga 690 per menso. And then, do you think a person will talk to you for...
Definitely, you can't even continue talking to me.
Oloche hi, you're looking like that on your face, I'm leaving you.
And the badness with communication, if I communicate to you for the first time, you don't respond very well, or you don't seem to be interested in the message that I'm trying to
I'll carry that all my life. I'll definitely carry that all my life. I'll be like, that guy, that's Moses, that one. Okay, so another factor is confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence is a good communication skill, especially, maybe I would say per TV, broadcasting, maybe you're just talking to somebody, and mostly in making presentations. You can't go maybe go local school assembly and then you start communicating. You're looking down, you don't have confidence, and everybody, your voice is too low.
Exactly.
And it also volume and clarity is also something that makes effective communication and a good communicator. Because if you are there you are there, you are low, and what maybe you're using bombastic words where me, a grade 5 dropout, I can't even get what you're saying. You make communication difficult for us.
Of course, and the other point is observant. Yeah, for you to be a good communicator, you have to observe. Be observant, because communication isn't only uttering the words, but also what you are doing, what your body is speaking. It's also communication. I feel as a communicator, you have to communicate one message at a particular time, because it's very embarrassing and disturbing when somebody is communicating to you, the voice is communicating something different, as well as the body is talking about something else.
Body language.
Yeah. For example, you're talking about you are preaching. Let's say pastor is preaching. God loves you. You're a child of God. So stop doing illicit behaviors. Meanwhile, you have a cup of a bottle of beer.
You're chilling with
beer. You have a cigarette on your hand.
Exactly.
That's a distortion of communication right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another thing, Moses, is giving feedback.
Yeah.
Giving feedback to the person you're communicating with, because I think literally there is no way, Moses, here I can be talking and then you're not answering me, because I'll just get angry and slap you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when communicating with somebody, you need to give feedback so that people will know that, okay, this person is listening to what I'm saying, not giving them that impression whereby they think maybe this person doesn't consider me, maybe this person thinks I'm speaking nonsense. So communication, giving people feedback is one of the things that make a person a good communicator. So Moses, when spreading communication, when talking to somebody, what are the qualities of the message that you're sending that a person has to have? Because I think the message has to be concrete.
Yeah.
It has to be based on something. Like, for example, here, Moses, we're talking about communication skills. There is no way we'll be talking about communication skills per minute happening in a second lunch. That's what So a message that you're sending to people has to be concrete.
Yeah.
It has to stand on something, and it has to be real.
Okay. Also, as communicators, we believe that communication has to be keys. Which is keep it simple and straightforward.
Oh.
Yeah. So being communicator, you don't have to pass around the bush for you to say a simple thing or I love you. Just have to keep it simple and straightforward.
Have you ever kept it simple before?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone, Moses? You the way I know you. Have you ever gone and said I love you?
Communication is about.
No, I have to ask. I'll ask the person. No worries. Okay, so communication also has to be correct and complete. There is no way I can come here and say, today I'll be talking about communication skills, and then I just say communication skills. The person has to be jovial, and I end there.
Oh, yes, jovial. Then what?
What has jovial done?
Yes.
Communication has to be complete and correct.
Yeah.
Because Moses Nikabwera Panomi says so and so has happened. Maybe we're running away from Zambia. Maybe everybody must move away from Zambia. Yeah. That's false information. Yeah. So communication also has to be correct,
Yeah.
So that people should know that okay, you also earn trust by so doing. So Moses, as we all know, everything has got an importance.
Yeah.
So what's the importance of communication, if I may ask? Because I don't know. May just communicate.
So basically, one importance of communication. It's communications brings about. It can earn you a job. So it's an importance. Of course, also the other importance of communication is that it's bring about development. Yeah, it's bring about development in the sense that if you effectively communicate with somebody or on a certain subject, of course, here we're communicating, for example, and the main goal why we're communicating is to make sure that our viewers right there, they get the message that we're trying to put across. And it's on Breakfast Show that we are making that communication. That's the very purpose of this communication. Hence the topic, communication skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the main reason why we're communicating is for our viewers, you don't want to talk to me. It's just about the I'm just joking.
Our viewers.
I'm just joking. Okay, so one of the importance of communication also, it helps us better understand people and situations, how to overcome diversities, build trust and respect, and create conditions for sharing creative ideas and solving problems. Communication is also something that actually helps us build friendships, relationships with people. It just helps us in a lot.
Yeah. Also, talking of communication in the corporate world, it makes you improve your listening skills, and it also makes you to improve your to have conscience, because the other thing is that you get to understand people you are talking to. You get to meet people to do business with. By the way, have you ever wondered why it's a mandate for this employee to look for somebody who has a good communication skills?
No, I don't.
It's one of qualification. Have you observed that?
Yeah, it's one of the qualifications, because almost every year people will be like good communicator and able to speak maybe 2 or 3 languages, English inclusive. In English. Okay, great. Yeah, communication. Because I think most companies also take their clients very as important people, and they take it personal upon themselves to say, okay, this is the way clients must be treated. Because there is no way, Moses, you come to Munati, maybe you want an advert, or maybe you want to sponsor my breakfast show here, and then you come, you start talking to me, I start shouting at you, so my boss will actually fire me. I'll be fired with immediate effect, because I may be losing business, So communication is also something that's very important, not only in companies but in families, in friendship, everywhere. Communication is very important. Some of this what actually makes somebody a good communicator. I think a good communicator chooses their words well, because there is no way a person can go to a person and then without anything they just start using bad language, they start using abusive languages towards a person that they're talking to. I also think a good communicator understands their auditions, because Moses, how would you take this scenario whereby I go to the copper belt, deep copper belt province, where they speak Bemba, and then I go for a meeting, maybe a crusade or something, and then I start speaking English without an interpreter. Maybe in that deep village people don't understand English, or maybe I start using my language here, but people there are Bembas. I start using my deep language also.
Of course, you want to achieve your communication. You want to achieve what you're trying to tell those people, because communication at the end of the day, it's about creating something in common, and of course that something in common has to be one of the something in common has to be language, of course. So you have to make sure that the person is able to get what you're talking about, and you, of course, you are able to get what that person is talking about, and not only to get but also to understand, because if you don't understand, you can't give feedback properly.
Yeah. So another thing that makes somebody a good communicator is connecting with the people you're talking to, the audience, at the right time and at the right place. Because there is no way, Moses, you can go to a funeral and then you start talking about the party after the funeral. Maybe this is maybe a daughter to the deceased, and then you start talking to them. No, me, I bought such and such a what? I'm going for the party this evening. How would they feel?
Of course, you're not achieving what you are.
Exactly.
You're not achieving communication.
So you have to take every communication, every message that is to be sent, is supposed to be sent at the right time and at the right place. So there is no way, as well, Moses, you can go to church and come back to me. I drank chani. You see, it's all about the correct places and the correct time to speak about something, because everything has got its time to be done. So like right now, it's time for breakfast show.
And of course, communication is very broad and it's big. And in as much as we communicate, people, they take it for granted.
Yes.
And we've seen that maybe it's because of communication that people, they end up fighting. It's about there were no effective communication, and of course we can just take this scenario for what happened in these constituencies where they want to hold elections. They failed to understand each other. That's the reason why they ended up in political violence. Yeah, and also the same communication. We're coming from our homes, and I believe those homes we have our parents, we have our siblings, and so not, and everybody who's surrounded with us. So it's about communication. How do you communicate with your parent? How do you communicate with your siblings?
Because it's not just any message that you can send to an elderly person or a younger person.
Yes, yes.
So that's also a communication skill.
Yeah. So you also have to know those stuff. You also have to know about how to use your body. Because I feel a lot of people they confuse the two between body communication and verbal communication. Okay, because when I do this, you know what it means, right? What does it mean?
I don't know. I think that's something to say good or nice.
Good, right? Yeah. So this is the body communication. Yeah. And when I say this, meaning that
Bad.
That's bad. I don't like what you're doing. You understand? When I lift my eyebrows like this.
Moses, what is that supposed to mean, please?
No, it's about communication. Now, communication is using your body. Yeah.
Okay.
You understand?
So what about, now I want to learn the lifting of the eyebrows.
The lifting.
That's a chaff.
Are you going? Yes, I'm going.
Where?
Are you going to the market? Yes, I'm going to the market. You understand?
Oh, that's okay.
Even nodding in the head. It's communication.
Yeah, it's communication as well. So communication isn't basically based on the words that are brought out by the mouth or words that are written down by somebody, but it's also about body language. Because our body, people say action speaks louder than words. So I think our bodies also speak. Because if they see you just like that, they'll be able to tell that I'm Moses in Documentary. Okay, so Moses, how can a person improve their communication skills in case they never knew about communication, they never knew that so long as and then if they want to improve their communication skills, how can they do it?
Okay, so first of all, before you become the communicator or the effective communicator, you first have to learn you must have the listening skills. You must listen first in order for you to communicate, because if you don't listen, there's nothing that you will communicate. Okay, so for example, you've asked me a question. If I wasn't able to get the question, I couldn't have given you the feedback, because it's unveiled. And also there's a difference between listening and hearing. Yeah, there's a difference, and of course we're talking about now being a good listener, but not a good a good hearer. Okay, so you have to learn that art of being a good listener for you to become an effective communicator. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just differentiate the two, the hearing and the listening. I learned that in grade 9, by the way. Okay, so listening, I'm sure you've heard people using the terms "I'm listening to music." People don't say "I'm hearing to music." They say "I'm listening to music." So listening is paying attention. But hearing is not even paying attention. Like for example, here where we are, maybe we might be playing music, or maybe we might be watching a movie, but we might be listening to the movie whilst we hear the gate opening.
Of course, also talking of the same music, I like. I also like this Congolian artist Fadi Ipupa. I like to listen to his music, but do you think that is listening? Because I don't understand what he's singing. It's
still listening. So long as you can sing it, it's still listening.
And you can vibe on it.
As well as dance on it, Okay, great. So just like you said earlier, body language and listening, as well as confidence and open-mindedness, respect, and the correct medium. That's how a person can improve their communication skills. Like, I'll still go back to the government. like the government and the CDF money, the women empowerment. This thing should not only be limited to TV or radio or newspapers or brochures, but as well as go deep into the communities and communicate with people in the languages that they get, so that they can be aware and make use of the money that is available for them to start up businesses whatsoever that they can, so that they help themselves and their families, as well as that's correct. That's a use of the correct media, and as well as open-mindedness. Moses says, no way I can be talking to you up and come and Moses we enter the car. When we enter the car, we move left, and then you'll be like, yes. But do you even know where we are going?
No.
Or maybe I say we're communicating, right? And then we're discussing about a business idea. So in Nkambanat, Moses, the 24th of October is approaching. How about we come up with such and such outfits? I think it's fine. What if my suggestion is ugly? And so a person has to be open-mindedness as well as respect. So communication, respect and communication is one of equality, and one of the way that a person can improve their communication skills. Because if you're respecting the person you're talking to, you are respecting the people that are around you. Even during communication, you show respect, especially to elderly people. Not only them, but everybody else needs respect. You also get the respect that you deserve in that communication, because you can't start talking to somebody and then you start shouting at them. So respect is also a quality of communication.
Of course, and also talking about how you can become a good communicator. It's also one. The other thing is about emulating people who have been there. Emulating people who have been good communicators. Let's talk of Martin Luther, Barack Obama. So if you listen to their conversations, or if you listen to their speech when they're talking, of course, that will give you an. You have to emulate. In other words, you just have to emulate to say, okay, this guy is communicating properly. Because also, it comes about it's following about your role models. Role models who communicate. It can make you a good communicator.
Okay, great. So there's another comment here from Kelly Hamabale. He says, watching from Muchinga province. Thank you so very much, Mr. KD. And it is very exciting to know that Muchinga province is actually watching Munati Breakfast Show. And thank you so very much for commenting. Stay tuned. Remember, Munati Breakfast Show comes every day from Monday to Friday at exactly 8 hours, and it is a breakfast show for the people whereby we talk about the current affairs, we talk about community stories, we talk about discussions like the things that are currently happening and the things that happen in our daily life. So right as that now, we'll be going for a short break, and join us after this short break for more news, as we'll be talking about sports. And remember to share the link, remember to like the page, and remember that Munati Breakfast Show is also available for sponsorship. So right as of now, we'll be going for a break. Join us shortly. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. This is Munati Breakfast Show, which comes every Monday to Friday at exactly 8 hours. And on a side news, Martina, yesterday the renowned comedian Brighton Sinclair was put to rest at the Embassy Park. And of course, he was a comedian. He was a great stand-up comedian,
Yeah,
to
he
say.
was.
Yeah, and he made people laugh, you know, and he lightened that moment in people's lives. And it was yesterday when he was buried.
It's
Yeah.
really sad. It's really sad that the man had to go so early, so quickly. His death was actually untimely, and I think nobody expected it. Nobody expects death, but it actually hit me like, I don't know. I don't know. It was really bad that the man had to die. He was a great comedian. He made me laugh not only once, not only twice, but a number of times.
Yeah.
Because I was actually following the man, and you know.
I love the fact that Mr. Brighton Sinclair was able to relate with people depending on their age, on their situation. He was able to fit in that same shoe that that person is. And of course, he was working with the Ministry of Health. He was under the promotion department, and of course, we see that this was a man who greatly contributes to the Ministry of Health. And of course, yesterday we saw the former Minister of Health, Chitalu Chidofia, also giving the last respect to Brighton Sinclair. But also, Brighton Sinclair, he was a deacon, at Shainama Seventh-day Church, where he served as a deacon, as I mentioned earlier, and that's where the church service was held. That is sad. That's a sad.
It's really sad. You know,
sad.
Mr. Brighton Sinclair was a deacon, was a comedian, was in the health sector. You know, he did a lot of things. And I'm sending my deepest condolences to the family, and may God comfort them. It's not easy to lose a loved one.
Yeah, and you can imagine the fun that he had, and you can imagine how his children used
comedy
to relate.
the comedy that he used to do with
And
his
talking
daughter
of
Cindy.
and of talking of children, one of the daughters, Cindy, you know, yesterday when giving last respect, he thought as if she was dreaming, or he thought maybe the father was sleeping, or maybe acting. You know, he said that, "Dad, please wake up." People will think as if you are serious. Meanwhile, the father was dead. You know,
it's really something that is really hard for the girl to process.
Yeah.
And it will take time for her to believe that the father is really gone, because they used to, you know, she knew the father as a comedian, as an actor, so it's something that's really hard to process and accept.
Yeah, even the way they used to relate, there you can see there was a father-daughter child relation there, and of course you see that, as you know, that Mr. Brighton was also the MC for events. He would carry the daughter, you know, to the events, you know. Also
they do comedy together.
Yeah, they do comedy together. They talk about the head of the father, you know. It was something which is devastating. And of course, we can just send, as Munati TV was sending the condolences to the family of Sinclair's. And of course, during this moment in time, just know that as a Munati, we are here with you.
May God comfort the family. May God comfort the family of the deacon, Brighton Sinclair. And it's not easy to lose a loved one, especially a father, whereby, especially a person you used to joke with, a person you used to relate with, a person who you would, you know, somebody who was very close to you. It's really hard to lose such a person. Yeah,
it's really hard. And he died at the age of 53. And he died on a road accident that was in Kabwe. When he was, and the report shows that he was coming to Lusaka to MC a certain program, and you can see that now that he did not do that, the feeling, the feeling for the event where he was going, for these people who organized the wedding, and who organized that this man will come to this event and MC this event. It's very sad. And of course, right about now, we'll go direct into sport. Talking about sport, what do we have in sport?
Okay, in sports, we've got Zambia and Angola battle for Zambia and Angola battle for under-20 AFCON qualification spots. Zambia is one match away from qualifying for the next year's under-20 Africa Cup in Egypt as they face Angola in the semi-finals of the COSAFA qualifier on Friday at Simlolo Stadium in Eswatini. Somlolo.
Yeah.
Hey. The COSAFA qualifiers finalists will qualify for the under-20 AFCON Egypt 2023. The junior Chipolopolo and Angola face off in the 15-30 kick-off match. Coach Chisimbewe has told the Zambian side to remain focused ahead of the Angola clash. Okay. Tomorrow's game is a very important game for us. We know this is a game that is holding our key for us to qualify to the AFCON in Egypt. So it is a very important game for us, Mbewe said.
Okay. So this is the game which will be played today at exactly 14.
Oh, it's today.
Yeah, at 14:30 hours. 15:30 rather. Yeah, 15:30 hours. We'll see our boys, the under-20, playing against Angola, and this it's an important game for them because that's what will make them qualify for the 2023 COSAFA Total Energies under-20.
Zambians, let's support our under-20 boys. Let's support our under-20 Chipolopolo. You know, these guys are doing massive and great things. Let's just support them with
yeah.
So that they make us proud as well. So that they qualify to the AFCON in Egypt. And I believe our boys will make us proud because from the look of things, I think we're winning.
Yeah, they will, because you can even see how they've started the group. They have win. They don't have any lose in the group stages. They've managed to beat every team there. The recent game was with Botswana, which they defeated Botswana with 1-0. And of course, we remain positively to see that even as they will be taking today's game against Angola, they win the game so that they make us proud as the soccer fans.
Very proud. Yeah. I'll become a soccer fan once they win today. I'll become a I'll also buy a jersey. Yeah. I'll also get boots and very long stockings, yeah, and a shirt as well. So I'll become I'll go and join the under-20. Yeah. I want to play with the boys, not the girls. So that at least when I enter Mujam ground to and watch it, my boys okay, just joking. So our dearest viewers, that's all we had for you today on our breakfast show. Remember, this breakfast show comes every day from Monday to Friday at exactly 8 hours, and this is Munati TV from me, host Chiluba Daka, and my co-host
Moses Mpika. And also don't forget that today Alec Nyambe will be giving you sports update in as much as the results of today's game are concerned. So make sure to stay tuned at exactly 1600 hours on Munati Sports Update.
So if you want to know more about sports, you want to get more information, just know that Alec Nyambe on Munati TV is the best person to give you that best updates and that best the best updates that he's got, because the guy was sports.
Yeah, we are Munati, we have TV on the go.
We are on the go, so we got you covered in everything that you need, in everything that you want to know about. Remember also to catch Felicia.
Yeah,
Felicia
with social
Felicia
updates,
with social updates.
That's why you get to hear about gossip, everything which is happening currently in entertainment, most especially, talking about your maps, when Love Kid and
don't talk too much. Felicia Mulomo is to say everything. She's our Pamalips list. Yeah, so she remember to catch her. That's exactly at 16 hours.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, before we go, there's another program at Munati TV, Mbotukala.
Yeah,
and I watched yesterday's episode.
Mbotukala's yesterday's episode was epic with Ginny. Remember to catch Mbotukala as well, because Munati doesn't only have breakfast show and news. It's got a lot of programs. There is also the business there. Yeah. There is also Mbotukala, which comes every Thursday at exactly 13:30 hours with Jean. Like, gets to interact with women. A lot of people, whereby Mbotukala means how we stay, how we live. So you know, make sure you join in. It's a very, very interesting and epic episode.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on this Friday's edition of Munati Breakfast Show. And this program comes every Monday to Friday at exactly 8 hours. And I was your co-host, Moses Mpika.
And my name is Chiluvadaka. I was your host. And remember that Munati Breakfast Show is very, very, very much available for sponsorship. So from me and my co-host, it's a bye-bye and God bless.